All right, live to Kathy Motlatlana, who's watching developments on the ground in Diepsloot right now. Good morning to you, Kathy. When we first began broadcasting earlier, we were talking about 3 suspects having been taken in for questioning. I understand that number has now risen to 4.
Good morning to you, Joanne. You're absolutely right. The police commissioner confirming that 4 people are now being taken in for questioning. We've been speaking to the community here about who these suspects could possibly be. And I think, from the information that we've gotten, there are about 3 that it seems that at this point we can assume have been taken in for questioning. If you can remember yesterday, Joanne, the community identified the shack belonging to a man who they believed was a suspect in this case. Now, police came through late yesterday and collected some evidence from the scene. This is the shack behind me that was attacked, or rather that was destroyed by residents here in Diepsloot. I'm just going to try and we're going to try and give you a better view of what it looks like inside of the shack. It was quite messy when residents started tearing apart this corrugated iron, and some of the evidence that police did remove from the scene were not necessarily at liberty to talk about. But what happened, we understand overnight, is that the rest of the people that stay here, Joanne, in the surrounding shacks, that would be the shack next door and the one right next to it, because as you can see, that one would be the kitchen and this would be the bedroom. There are 4 men that stay here. And we understand that the remaining 3 men who do not stay in this particular shack, who were not necessarily identified as the key suspect, they went into the police station and they handed themselves over to police yesterday after getting word from the community that this shack had been attacked. And of course, they feared for their lives having to come back home, especially given that the community was so angry at that time.
Kathy, any updates from the police on how their investigation is shaping up?
Well, at this stage, we'll have to wait to see what exactly comes out of that questioning that's taking place with these 4 suspects that they've managed to bring into the police station. And right here on the ground in Diepsloot, things are very quiet. There is considerable calm. There are no police officers in sight today, and I think the community itself has also calmed down quite a lot. People are occasionally coming in here to just see the shacks, to see what has happened. And as you can imagine, there are all sorts of other things that are being added to the story. And so everybody wants to come and see what exactly may have been found. All sorts of myths now coming up about the men that were here. But we understand that all of them are foreign nationals. The community members here don't necessarily know the men, but they can identify them. It seems like they led a quiet life and didn't necessarily engage much with the people that are in this area.
Is the assumption then that the suspect police are looking at now could possibly be a foreign national, Kathy?
At this stage, if we're to look at what has come out of the community and the people that we believe are being questioned at this stage, then it would be safe to assume that the suspect that they are looking at is a foreign national, because all the people that stay in this particular compound are foreign nationals, according to what the community here has told us. And of course, they recovered sandals, little kids' sandals and clothing belonging to children. And the community members here say, well, none of the men here actually have children, so it wouldn't make sense for them to actually be in possession of those clothes. Also speculation that one of the people that was actually staying here is known for producing African medicine and the like. And a lot of that is just what's coming out of the community now. So no official confirmation yet, Joanne, from officials and from police officers that are actually investigating this case. But of course, they have said that they suspect that this could be the work of a serial killer. And so I don't think that they'll be leaving any loopholes in this regard.
The very thought of a serial killer stalking that area must strike terror in the hearts of many, especially parents of young children in the area. You must have had a chance to speak to them over the last couple of days, Kathy. How are parents in that area feeling, knowing that they face the challenges, many of them being single parents, of not having the means to cater for their children in terms of care while they're at work?
Joanne, when you speak about parents in the area that are concerned, I'm going to ask my cameraman Mbudzeni just to turn with me so that I can show you who these parents are. These are the people in Diepsloot that are worried and concerned about their children's safety. And each of them has been coming here just to try and see what this place looks like, try and get an idea of where their children should not be seen, which area their children should not be playing in. So security at this point in Diepsloot is a very, very crucial issue. You know, it's a big subject for them, especially because they feel that police have not been doing enough to actually help them protect their families. They feel that all of their cries for improved security, for in fact improved services, have been falling on deaf ears, and they're now doing whatever it is they can to actually protect their own families from this. But, you know, we've spoken to experts who work in communities, from Women and Men Against Child Abuse, and they've told us that, you know, there needs to be a greater awareness, particularly in informal settlements, around child safety, and just, you know, how to protect oneself in an environment like this, particularly because there are no services that are immediately available to residents.
Kathy, we've heard that there are little creches that have sprung up all over Diepsloot, but we know it is a sprawling area, and we know that those creches simply can't cater for the numbers of children that would be living in the area. What sort of informal settlements or informal agreements are set up between these mothers to try and make sure their children are cared for while they're away?
Well, I think one of the other big things where creches are concerned is that not everybody can actually afford to take their children to a care facility where they will be well taken care of or well looked after. So usually, you know, if people have appointments or engagements, they'll ask their neighbors to take care of their children. They'll ask their close friends in the area to take care of their children. And I mean, you know, we'll try and give you a picture of this a little later on, but children are playing in the streets freely. Their mothers are sitting in the yards, and, you know, they keep an eye on them, but it is from a distance. And so every once in a while, as children do, they do wander off, and that then becomes a critical moment. What happens in those 2 seconds, or rather in that minute when the mother is looking away and the child wanders off? And that is the threat that people here are facing now, because in that minute, should a serial killer be on the loose, one of their children is now at risk. And the worst case scenario for any mother here is that their child will be found in a similar position to what those 2 young cousins were yesterday. And the fear of what has happened here has absolutely, you know, just entrapped many of the mothers here. You know, a general sense of wanting better security and needing to actually be able to take better care of their children. And you know, some of the fathers have also come on board. You know, we saw a father that had his child strapped to his back yesterday, just in the aftermath of everything that had happened. And so, you know, a cry also for greater responsibility from the men, or rather from the women to the men that are also living in this area.
Kathy, it's a very interesting story indeed. Thank you so much for giving us such a multi-layered understanding of what is going on a most human level in Diepsloot at this hour.
News that moves. eNCA.com.